Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday night Twitch stream here on the Tabletop Gold Twitch channel. If you're looking at this on YouTube, welcome to the Tabletop Gold YouTube channel. Wow, you've wound your way to the best channel on both of those two streaming platforms. Incredible work. Nicely done.
Yeah. Congratulations on your excellent taste.
Yes, of course. Let's just start this off with a little praise session the way that we always do. You're doing great things watching this show. Yeah. I'm Lars Castine. Right there is Armat Humphreys. Hey, Armat.
Hello. How's it going, Lars? I'm hyped to be here, man.
I'm doing great. I'm hyped to be here as well.
Yeah.
For another episode of GODMAKER. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
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 So for those of you who aren't familiar with GODMAKER or familiar with us from Tabletop Gold, we are cast members on / hosts of the Tabletop Gold actual play podcast. We play Pathfinder Second Edition. We have an ongoing show that's been going for nigh on 2 years now. And let me tell you,
wow.
I know. Let me tell you,
crazy.
It's a great show, and if you don't know us, you would love it. You would love this show if you enjoy role-playing games, if you enjoy actual play podcasts, etc., and so on and so forth. But it's a very story-driven, it's a very real gameplay-driven show, and GODMAKER is our sort of chance to like indulge in the dark arts of homebrew. Isn't that right, Armat?
Absolutely. Yeah, I always have so much fun because it's like the best, wildest brainstorming session ever for homebrew. And it's so fun to have multiple people to bounce ideas off of and filter through. And you end up with something cool that you never could have come up with on your own.
I completely agree. It's doing this show is like always a blast. I always love it.
Yeah.
I'm just checking our stream audio real quick as I'm chatting with you. But yeah, it's always fun. It's always a good time. And it's like a nice way on Wednesday nights to just sort of like break into just coming up with some ideas, just thinking about stuff, just, you know, just having fun and being a person for once in my life. You know what I mean?
Totally. No, I always look forward to these. Like, I know you've said several times in the past, there's always that moment where you're like, oh, I love doing this. Hits.
Yeah.
And like, I totally agree. Every time I show up for a GODMAKER episode, when timing works out, it's just like, I know I'm going to have a great time and just hang and chill and be goofy and playful and come up with some crazy deity.
Yes, you are correct. And you know what else is correct is the audio in our stream. It's all, everything's working great.
Everything's coming up GODMAKER.
Everything's coming up GODMAKER, baby. What do you say we get into it? What do you say we make a god? I feel like we've introduced the concept more than adequately. Let's just do it, right? Let's just have some fun. Let's do it.
Cool. Let's get into it.
If this is your first time hanging out on GODMAKER, we usually, when we're doing video game streams and things like that, we'll talk with the chat constantly. This is kind of a headier thing, so we have our like a specific page that we go to for chat. So if you throw things into chat, we will see them eventually, but it may take us a moment to get to them. But please chat. Please make yourself part of the equation. You know, why not?
Yeah, we want you here. And we want your perspective and feedback and especially jokes. We love your jokes.
We want the jokes. Give us the jokes, please. Okay, let's do it. Let's start in on the GODMAKER questionnaire. The greatest questionnaire in all of God making, right?
Yeah. Certainly the most important questionnaire in my life, frankly.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I just want to throw a quick resize on this thing and throw it on in there. Bam. Done.
Look at
okay.
that.
So we've got an empty space on the GODMAKER D8.
Yeah. Can I suggest that you toss a concept out? Because I feel like you've been very generous in letting the rest of us do so. And I think let's get some of that Lars special flavor combination in there.
Let's do it. I believe I only have one god here right now, which is memory, and I'm going to throw out All I know about this option I'm throwing right now, I know a couple of things. This is one I've thought about. This number 6 is the twin of number 3. I want them to be twin siblings, nostalgia and memory.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's our number 6. So if we do 1, we're doing cheese and dairy. 2, meaninglessness. 3, memory. 4, tedium, bureaucracy, and red tape. 5, blood. 6, nostalgia. 7, herbs. And 8, forge, craftsman, artisans. Is any of this redundant with things that we've already done?
I don't think so.
Okay. I think it is.
Do you have a thought?
I think it's arguable that tedium, bureaucracy, and red tape is very similar to what we did last time, which was dysfunction, entropy, and decline.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like there's not a ton of daylight between those two, so I kind of want to pull this one.
Yeah, I support that. I think you know, that really is, I think, a modern current vision of governmental sort of interaction, as opposed to like a fantasy universe, unless that's like part of the joke of the fantasy universe, maybe. But yeah.
But to me, it's like, I think that tedium, bureaucracy, and red tape, there's not much that would be worshipped in that God idea that couldn't already be worshipped in the one that we did last time.
Yeah, totally. So
why
all sort of falls under dysfunction.
Agreed. Why don't you can you throw an idea out so that we're taking turns on this one?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We've got.
Hey, let me aid you with this. Our cool image of the entire pantheon. We've got Voltheros, god of cities, transportation, and roads. We've got Fiannan Glitterhearth, the god of frivolous excess, decorative, adornment, and flowers. We've got Graced, the god of harvest, hunger, and dirt. We've got Rahaim, the god of consciousness, dreams, and premonition. We've got Einsamosk, the god of solitude, loneliness, and purpose. We've got Buneftia Eniok, the god of dysfunction, entropy, and decline. And that is that.
Well, that actually helps me throw an idea out there.
Ah, fantastic.
I was going to say sort of Voltharos's opposite number. What about the god of crime?
Ooh, god of crime. I love it. Yes.
The Lord of Heists or something. I think that could be a really fun one.
I think it could be really fun, and I think that it would get a lot of play in a tabletop role-playing game. Like, this is absolutely a god that adventurers could and should worship. Basically.
Totally, yeah. I was just thinking, I want to do like a heist god, or like that would be a fun one, a divine inspired adventure about like doing a heist. Oh, maybe against another god or something. That could be cool.
It could be cool. Do you have a D8? You want to roll a D8?
I do. I'm ready to roll. All right.
There it is.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Well, guess what one I got?
I don't know. You got to show me the camera.
Numero 6. That's the god of nostalgia.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I already know. I cheated a little bit. This is one that I've been thinking about. And this is just something I want to put in before anything else, okay? I'm jumping the line on the god of nostalgia on this questionnaire.
Well, I do think the god of red tape may have something to say about that. Oh, just kidding. It's not part of the pantheon anymore.
That's right.
We kicked him out.
Let's clear that out there. Okay. I'm just trying to get to the alignment thing. Where is the alignment thing? I believe the god of nostalgia must be lawful evil.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
This is the one thing that I will not fudge on at all. The god of nostalgia must be lawful evil in my mind, because it is about imposing an imagined past, an imaginary, nonsensical past onto other people to make yourself feel better and to reinforce hierarchies. This is hierarchical. I believe that nostalgia is fundamentally, and I'm not willing to argue about this.
Spicy take on nostalgia. You heard it here first.
And evil.
I buy that, actually.
Okay.
I have to say, like, it's about like using memory for like a very specific targeted purpose, which is like making yourself feel both worse and maybe better. But like, I feel like nostalgia encourages many of our worst tendencies in remembering things, like fundamentally, as you're saying.
In war, and the amount of evil being done in the name of nostalgia, I think, in our present world is astonishing and horrifying. And in my mind, if nostalgia is a powerful enough force in a fantasy setting to have a deity committed to it, it must be evil. It must be evil.
I'm
okay.
with you. I think it's fun. I'm also trying. I feel like too that nostalgia as a deity of evil would be like sort of a whisperer, being like, "Hey, remember when things were cool for you?
That's not the way that's supposed to be.
You should change that.
Things need to change back." Right. So as I was conceiving of this was like one of the things that made me want to do GODMAKER, period, was the idea that memory and nostalgia are twin siblings, and memory is chaotic and maybe even chaotic good, and nostalgia is lawful evil.
Yeah, I buy chaotic good because memory is sort of, it's there to aid you in future decisions in some ways. Like, we wouldn't have evolved the capacity for memory if like it wasn't a survival tool in many ways.
And memory is imperfect, which I think that to understand that memory is like an incomplete picture of something that you do not have perfect recall of anything, whereas nostalgia is confident. Nostalgia is like, it used to be better. It used to be good. And we are going to take things back by force to make them good like they used to be.
I don't know what in the American political sphere could have impelled this sort of opinion, Lars.
Listen, it's not a political podcast, everybody. Everybody just calm down.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I think that's totally... Yeah, I totally see it. Like, nostalgia really is one of those things that is sort of always, to some degree, manipulative and weaponized. Like, even if it's just you remembering to yourself about like, oh, remember when I was a kid and like things were just so much better. They weren't fucking better. You were just as miserable as a kid, except you had kid problems instead of adult problems, which might seem better, but like you were still a kid, and so they were real problems.
And it's a thin excuse for control. Like it is, you just want things to be a certain way, and you're attaching it to a manipulated sense of your own memory to justify why you should have this control, is
totally
my opinion.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I totally buy that as like an inner process for sure.
Let's move on through the GODMAKER questionnaire.
Yeah.
Which of the following best describes this god? I feel like this should either be a very young person or a very old person.
Oh, yeah. I could see, like, especially as an evil god, it being like a little girl or something.
Yes,
being like,
let's do it. Let's do a young girl.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 and looks totally sweet and innocent and adorable.
Yes.
Like
confident.
Yeah. Confident. I'm imagining them with like snake eyes though, or something like, I don't know, manipulative or
that's coming up. That's coming up.
Some mark of evil.
Yes, we've got that's the next question, I believe. Or it's coming up. What is this god's name?
Oh. There's got to be a fun word for nostalgia in another language.
Yeah. Or I would accept words for illusion. I would accept words for control.
Oh, you know what? We could use Maya, which in Buddhism is the word for illusion, but also is a very lovely name.
Maya?
Maya. I believe that's
Okay.
the case. I might not be. I'm not a professional Buddhist, so take it. Yeah,
purely an amateur. Is there anything that we want to add to this? To add to Maya?
Yeah, I mean, do you have any thoughts? I'm sort of I'm definitely amenable to making.
I kind of like the idea of a first name, last name, like we did with Fionn and Glitterhearth.
Yeah,
so,
I like
because that would, I think, would set up the twin aspect when we get around to it. So because it would be like Maya something and then Soraya something or whatever.
Totally. Yeah, I like that a lot. Do you have thoughts on what word we
Stevenson. I have no idea.
Roberts.
Maya Roberts. God of nostalgia.
Can't trust her. Well, let's look at some of these alternate words for nostalgia. Shockingly, and this actually I think is genuinely surprising to me, nostalgia is mostly similar in other languages. And of course, the Japanese and Korean and Thai versions here, I cannot read in that script, but or characters rather.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. What else do you associate with nostalgia? Like what kind of rumination?
Yeah, like I mean, it's tough coming. I'm trying to think of a last name, like, and this last name is something that you would want to apply to both. Like here's my hope is that it would be first name something like evoking certainty and control and power or something, and then a last name evoking the past, so that we could have a twin name that hits the other side of it when we get there.
Got it. So they're connected by their surname, which is the past. So maybe past or memory in other languages. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Now we're
What do you got? What do you got?
So in Croatian, and where's the section? Here we go. Ooh, I kind of like the Finnish one, actually. Let's go muisti. Maybe Maya muisti, or...
Can you spell muisti, please?
You nailed it right there.
Fantastic.
Let's see if I got the pronunciation right. Muisti. So pretty close.
Okay.
Actually.
Let's do it. Maya muisti.
Muisti.
I love it. Okay. And we're about to get to the special physical features, which we can do to drill down on the what the signifiers attached to this little girl. What's the nickname or logline? The first thing a person will use to describe this god, usually after a comma. So this would be a Maya muisti, comma, the like
the manipulator,
the road behind.
Like
the lost glory, the
lost dream, the lost eidolon.
Ooh, the lost eidolon.
Because I think an eidolon is.
Is there a word for something you want to get back to? There's like haunt is kind of like that. Doesn't seem quite right.
Yeah.
The fading, the reclaimed. I feel like that's a word that we want. The reclaimer?
Oh, yeah. Because that sounds like pretty intense, and I feel like plays into the evil sort of
like in my mind, she would not be
hierarchical tyrant.
Right. So I think that this girl is not like, we were saying Snake Eyes before, but for me, it's more like a spear. It's like she is riding a tank. She is like, this is brutality. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I kind of don't feel like there's much subtle about this. This is power, control, conformity, You know what I mean?
Totally. What about the Reclaimer Queen?
The Reclaimer Queen, and she's this little girl.
And like
This
maybe
is
she
dope.
has this
We've
like
hit the point. We've now hit the point where I'm like, this rocks.
Totally.
I love it now.
Right?
Now I'm having a good time.
Super on board with this. Yeah. Yeah, like a crown and then maybe some weapon, like maybe, spear, honestly, or some weapon of war.
So let's say like she's wearing a crown and a spear.
Yeah.
Because then it's like for her twin sister for the god of memory. And I know that this is like a little different because we're kind of doing two gods at the same time.
Right.
But it's like that would be like a kid, like that same girl drawing on a sketch pad.
Yeah.
So it's like you either have this girl riding, or not riding a tank, but with the crown and the spear, or you have this girl like writing a story. And it's like, those are the twin siblings of memory and nostalgia.
I'm so into it. Yeah.
Okay.
How would we describe this god in one phrase or sentence?
Okay, we've kind of gotten there already, right? A little girl wearing old-fashioned clothing, right?
Oh, yes. And that'll be cool because it'll change based on who's perceiving her and at what time, which I love.
Completely agree. Relative to the person worshiping her. Wearing a crown, wearing old-fashioned clothing, a crown, whatever. Let's clean up this prose, shall we? In old-fashioned clothing, wearing a crown and holding a spear. Perfect. I feel like anything more fantastical than that is missing the point. Right. This needs to be something that a right-minded person would worship. That like a normal person would be like, this is the vengeance of the past upon a decadent age today.
Right. We're finally going to get it right by returning.
Yeah.
Interesting, actually, talking about this. So I recently went back to hang out with a friend of mine in New Haven, and she's a historian.
Yeah.
And I'd read her dissertation, and we were chatting about it. And it was very cool because it was about an alchemical manuscript in Poland from like 1500 or so.
Wow.
And it had been added on until like, she's super cool and smart. But like way smarter than me, clearly. But the interesting thing that she had done a translation of one of the things, and in it, they were talking about how like, even at that age, they were talking about like, oh, in order to get this right, we have to go back to older alchemical manuscripts. So it's just
like even in alchemy, there's that sort of nostalgia.
Right. Exactly. In every sort of system or society or subculture, whatever you want, there's always that sort of human instinct to like look to the past in sort of rose colored glasses in some way.
The idea of that applied to alchemy is like hitting something for me, which is like turning this into the dumb guy version of what it is that you're talking about. Like Warhammer 40K, I always think about how like the Space Marines have this, or whatever, the Imperium has this like lost technology. There is technology that has been lost due to the like constant warfare. So they're constantly needing to reclaim artifacts from like past human eras in order to like exploit that more advanced technology for greater destruction.
Totally.
So there is,
and how they worship it too, which is so cool, and like affix seals and like pray to the machines too. Totally awesome. I love Warhammer 40K.
So I think that there's something to be said for like worshippers of this god to be like major antagonists in like a role-playing game campaign, because like they would have military conquests, like they would be going on crusades and things like that to get artifacts back, similarly to how they like, you know, like you're saying, the alchemists that your friend studies would need to return to some like bygone era in order to reclaim some technology, or you know, imagined technology.
Totally.
Or whatever.
Maybe that's one of her like traits as a goddess is that like her worshippers are always waging war, like you're saying.
I think that
that's
she should
so
be the god
cool.
of nostalgia and conquest almost.
I love that. Yeah, because I mean, what is nostalgia if not claiming the past for this like sort of unrelated emotion in some ways?
Yeah. So
let's
let's keep that in mind, shall we?
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely.
So let me add our last one. Beniftia Eniac. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't need to do all of these. Just like what jumps out: Voltheros, mass transit, cities, etc. I don't see a super strong connection personally. How about you, Armat?
Yeah, I don't either. If anything, I think they'd be like mildly opposed because Voltharos is about like building up infrastructure, progress. Yeah,
I feel like the worshippers of Maya Muisti, is that what we are? Maya Muisti would be like not in my backyard kinds of people aggressively and would like oppose, so it was like soft opposition between the two, right?
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Right. It certainly would not be enough to like wage war between the two, like, but
because it's also sort of a moving target. It's like, nostalgia is so nonsensical that it's like people would be nostalgic for earlier mass transit and then would like
right. Yeah. There is a little bit of like delirium in this.
I agree
too, which I love.
God, so much. We got to keep all of these things in mind as we move through the questionnaire.
I'm making notes here.
Raham, the god of dreams. I think absolutely, because this is dreams as connection between people, like Jungian dreams, right?
Totally.
So I'd say that they are. I think they're blood relatives, probably.
Yeah, maybe memory. Because he's also maybe Raham is these two girls' father. Yeah,
got it.
Totally mind meld.
Yes, agreed. Okay, she's the daughter of Raham, and
I don't know.
we don't have that. We don't have that yet. I feel like once we get a god of war, it's like that'll
that
go.
Would make sense.
That'll go there.
Totally right there. I could also potentially see like Sin spring or Athena springing out of Zeus's temple or Satan's temple.
I could agree.
It being like Raham just sort of spontaneously brain birthing.
Right. Like after a dream, both of these two children were found like in the pantheon or whatever.
Totally. Yeah.
They were birthed from dreams. Yes, of course they were.
Yeah.
Daughter of Raham, birthed out of a dream. Yeah, she has to be, right?
Totally.
That's like essential to this idea.
Totally. I was going to say, like, what is nostalgia if not as a weaponized force, but like attempting to recreate a shared dream?
I agree. Or an yes, I completely agree. Okay, so Fionn and Glitterhearth, I don't see anything huge for this one, really.
Yeah.
Like manic creation, I just like don't see that terribly related to nostalgia.
Yeah.
So maybe
like, yeah, like a friendly but not close aunt or something, like.
Okay. Grace, cousin. The god of dirt, hunger, and harvest. I kind of don't. I don't see it a ton, except that we talked about Grace as having sort of nostalgic elements and being opposed to Voltheros. But I just think that we're talking about different things here.
Yeah, I feel like Graced is more of a like you have to appease. Yeah, Graced if you're a harvest and if you like somehow manage to draw their attention in a bad way. Yeah. Totally.
Einsamosk, the god of solitude and loneliness. I don't think there's not a huge connection. Yeah, I don't think there's I think there's I don't see it, honestly.
I could see them maybe competing for a small subset of worshippers, like someone in solitude who's
right. But in terms of like pantheon relationships and so on, it's like
right. Oh yeah. Nothing like familial or anything like that. Yeah.
And then Bunyeftia Eniac, our god of dysfunction.
Yeah.
I don't see a huge connection. I think that we're kind of in a different wing of the museum at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, totally.
Baby
Yeah.
Mannequin says, Grace consumes the past, doesn't he?
That's a good question.
I think that's a good point. I think that makes some sense. I guess I have thought of Grace more as like just like a purely physical, almost like demigod kind of. But there's I think that okay, so Grace, there's like a sense of obligation and things have to be done the way that they have been done in order to satisfy them. So I think that there is something there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let's say that they're friendly.
Yeah.
They're friendly. She how about this? She has been known at times to ride on Grace's back.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I love that.
Do you like that?
Totally. That's straight out of like Revelations, Babylon riding on the great beast.
I love it.
Yeah. So cool.
I love it. All right. Biography. Please share any myth or origin story that explains, and let's just add her on here so I don't miss it next time.
Yeah.
Please share any. Sorry, I'm trying to like get into a mode that makes this is just me doing homework right now. This is not relative to what it is that we're doing. It's just like if I bold all this stuff, it's like much easier for me to remove when I make the questionnaire anew every week.
Of course. Yeah. Makes sense.
So that's what I'm doing. Okay. Biography.
I think it also looks good, like as a way for us to see it a little bit.
I agree. Bonuses all the way around.
Yeah.
So we need a myth. We need a let's change biography to myth. Right? So let's get a myth about Maya Mwisti.
You know,
like yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I had very, very little. What do you think?
I was trying to think it'd be cool, like you were saying earlier, if there was like some iconic artifact or item in the world that we could like describe her mobilizing a campaign to win. But that also feels like maybe not a mythic enough. So I don't know if that.
Well, maybe this
anything.
isn't. This might not be mythic, but let's just say like, tell me if this. I'm going to try to use sort of what you're talking about. Like, there was a crusade, at one point, where the elderly of a society conscripted an army of children to reclaim an artifact from a neighboring kingdom, which turned out to not have existed at all.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. That's so scary. I can't think why I would be upset and terrified by that.
Yeah. No, it seems bad. Maya, let's add her to this myth somewhere. Maya was pleased.
Yeah. I could see her like though doing that thing of like appearing to various of these like prominent, more elderly, you know, burghers, council people, et cetera, and like giving them a divine inspiration of like, when in fact what she wants is like this suffering dedicated to her in some ways, or her, manipulations. God, lawful evil creations are so fun.
That's the best. Lawful evil is absolutely the most fun thing to play to antagonists in tabletop role playing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like evil people who deeply believe something is just so much more fun than just like, I don't know, he just likes killing folks. Like, you know.
Totally. No, having principles that they have to abide by and be like bound by, just it makes it so much more fun.
Yes. So she appears to fading rulers and people of power and gives them a divine mandate to engage in harsh hierarchical restrictions and warfare. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be really cool when we get to a war god too with this connection, I feel like.
Yes, I agree. Maybe she is the war god.
I could see that. God of War and nostalgia. Yeah,
right? Like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Do we need another war god? I feel like that can just be the flavor of war here, where it's like, that's why you do, and defining war as like, not just all physical conflict, but, you know, between, like, not just all physical conflict, period, but physical conflict that societies habitually indulge in, basically.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's get something about her specifically rather than about the people that she inspires.
Right.
Like, what did she, let's get something about her twin sister.
Okay.
Let's just say, like, she and her twin sister like are often mistaken for each other.
And maybe her sister is sort of then like really like Athena in that she's like also sort of associated with war, but like, why is war?
Right.
Oh, maybe they're jointly the goddesses of war.
The joint goddesses of war, the goddesses of memory and nostalgia, both gods of war. This is the best. What a good time we're having. I
know. And it makes so much sense because like memory would be totally invested in like recording the deeds of great warriors, you know, like
vengeance for like genocides and so on would be like memory, not nostalgia, leading people to war. Right. Like, we remember the injustice suffered upon us and we will get vengeance for it.
Or we will try to never create such a horrible experience again, or try it. Prevent it totally,
right? Yeah. Not just vengeance, but we will. It is corrective, righteous violence, versus repressive, like delusion-driven violence from this goddess.
God, this is such a fun show.
This is the best. It's so much fun.
Yeah, twin child goddesses of war, because there is also something so like cruel about children at times, where they're like, they have no conception of
deeply
like,
tyrannical.
Totally.
Yeah. She and her twin sister are often mistaken for each other, but are also locked in constant battle. They're squabbling siblings.
Oh, I love that. Maybe they're always fighting over like a game of like chess or a game of, and trying to like outposition the other one.
I want something. I think I like the idea of it. I think that they. How about this? This is maybe getting too specific. They're squabbling citizens, constantly fighting over, over a game board, which on one side has a full chess layout, right? But on the other side has a drawing, like an illustration.
Ooh.
So it's like they have this thing where the god of memory wants it back to express something, and the god of nostalgia wants it back to impose control over something.
I love that. Yeah. And they both want to, that's awesome.
It's a board that on one side is a game, and on the other side is art.
Yeah. I think that's perfect. Like,
okay, cool.
God, this is so much fun.
Hey, we're in the image section now. If anybody's in chat, it's time for a chat break. We just not a lot happening on the old stream tonight, guys.
Yeah. Remember when this stream chat was so active?
Yeah, right. Remember
everybody was chatting.
Yeah. We need to go to war with whoever else is running a tabletop role-playing game thing.
Yeah. Seems only reasonable. Baby Mannequin, you're cool. You get to hang out with us.
Yeah, you're cool. You're the only good one.
You're our chief general now.
That's right. You must murder for us, please. So I'm getting Doll E2 to generate an image of a little girl in old-fashioned clothing wearing a crown and holding a spear.
This is going to be awesome.
Painted, of course, by Raphael, the house artist.
House style. And you have no choice, Baby Mannequin. Thanks for showing up. I know you didn't expect to be conscripted, but well, this is where the rubber hits the road.
Yep. Sorry, you made your bed.
Yeah. This is what you get for finding us slightly entertaining.
So I got some stuff now from Dolly 2. This is irritating. They do this sometimes where they crop them at the forehead. It's infuriating.
Totally.
It's somebody should really figure out a way to do art without using AI. That I think would be really ideal.
I don't know if that would ever catch on.
Silly. I want to see if I can figure out how to get a full body image of this.
Yeah. I thought those were looking pretty good though, in the right vicinity, certainly.
Yes, agreed. So I'm adding serious looking here. A serious looking little girl in old-fashioned clothing, wearing a crown. And let's change little girl to girl queen.
Ooh.
Child queen. Let's change that to child queen.
Yeah.
In old-fashioned clothing.
I'm glad you added the serious too, because like something about that smile, although I think it's sort of in character in some ways, like she is kind of, it was too evil and like sinister and like, I see her as more of a like,
well, get ready for
she's
more
not messing
cutoff.
around.
This is so annoying.
The first one looks pretty good though.
You want to see if we can get some variations on this and see if we like it?
Yeah, I kind of think. Like, couldn't you see that riding an awful nightmare worm and being like,
I could, yeah.
Oh shit, we are in serious trouble now.
Absolutely, completely agree. These are all still cut off at the forehead, but that might just be what we have to settle on right now. We don't see the crown.
I know. What I mean? It'd be nice to see the
crown. God damn it!
Yeah.
Where's my crown?
Damn it, Dolly.
I'm going to get rid of the old-fashioned clothing. I feel like that's probably going to come through. I think it's going to come through no matter what.
Well, especially if we're like in the style of Raphael, it's going to draw from like, Renaissance sort of period. And classic portraiture, and also helps us feel good about not
now
using AI.
Now we're doing
current artists or whatever. Yeah.
We're in business. We got something happening now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into number 3. I'm kind of ready just to go on number 3 personally.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like number 3 and I like number 4. Those I think have been my 2 favorites. Like her expression looks right. You know,
let's get variations on number 4. I don't like that it lost the Raphael of it all.
Yeah, it was a little bit more photorealistic.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, here's what we've got for variations on number 4.
I think 2 looks pretty good to me.
That one right there, or 2?
That one. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. Do you like that? Is that the one of all of these that you like the most?
I like that one, and I liked the first one we had too. Either of those would be my choices, I think. Like I think I like the style of that. The one in the blue dress with the gold sort of brocade and belt. But
okay, let's get variations on that just to give us one more thing to choose from.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I have to admit, I do always love this point in the podcast too, where you get to see like
these are losing flavor, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much more vibe to it.
Yeah. Totally.
I think of these, I like number 1 the most.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah. I'm into it. Let's
do
the original.
You want to just rock this one?
Perfect.
Okay,
yeah. Cool. Looks awesome.
It does look awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get that saved, shall we?
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
And now we need a holy symbol. What do you think we're doing? What are we doing in terms of vis-a-vis a holy symbol? Do you think?
Maybe a locket with a clasp that has 2 images in it, like of the past. I don't know. I'm just sort of spitballing here.
I sort of like the idea of going back to that myth and talking about the chessboard. because that captures the idea of like childhood
Yeah, and games
and games.
I like a chessboard actually could be her image.
Okay.
Don't you? Like with
Let's try it out. Let's see if we can get something.
ooh.
Yeah.
Chessboard where on one side you can see the pieces and then below it there's like, I don't know, art supplies.
Well, I think that we can do that for the other, like, I don't think we need to communicate both sides of the
chessboard, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
let's
that's
see
like one of the secrets of the initiates of either goddess is that like they're actually, you know, their symbols are actually meant to be conjoined or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. So that's what we got for stained glass window depicting a chessboard.
I kind of like number 1 and number 2, honestly.
Okay.
Like the diamond shape really works for me. I don't know. How do you feel?
I like number 1. I think I agree with you. I think that number 1 is the one, personally.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I like the crown at the top. I think that's like
perfect.
Perfect for the hierarchy of like, you know, as we start our campaign, it's all in the service of our difficult child queen.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there we go with that. It's time now to go to this is my favorite moment where we have now integrated the art into the questionnaire. What a good time. What a great time this podcast is.
I really love that image, I have to say. I've heard it's just like, so no, this isn't right. I don't like this.
Yeah, it's like part of it is that she's like impossible to satisfy, which I feel like is how nostalgia is. You never go back far enough. It's never it's never enough.
Yeah,
right?
Totally. There's always more like that is desired than can be.
So we're saying that our holy symbol is a chessboard with a crown on it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Follower section. Which sorts of locales typically house this god's followers? I think that she could be anywhere, any place.
Yeah.
Like really like absolutely any place where there is society or even just people living on their own.
Yeah. I sort of feel like
where people are.
Yeah, it has to be somewhere though that's existed for a while. You think anywhere?
Yeah, because people can be nostalgic for places that have nothing to, you know what I mean? Like people came like
or things you've never encountered. Yeah, totally.
Colonists come to new places and then are nostalgic for where they came from and then impose their will on the people that they're going, you know what I mean? Like you don't need to, it doesn't require any logic. It just requires an ability to imagine a past that's better than this, than the present day.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, that's fair. Yeah. Into it.
Okay. What sorts of areas house this god's temples? I think that they probably have whatever. This is not the question I was about to answer. Let's just say any area. Let's just move on. Temples. Okay. So this is the right question. I want to say they can be anywhere, but I also want to say they tend towards being incredibly expensive, voluminous, like beautiful architecture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, her followers have resources and will spend them to worship her.
Yeah, totally. And,
you know what I mean?
Maybe that's like one of her gifts is that like she enables her followers to accrue these great resources or guides them towards it a little bit. Like,
I think that makes sense. I think the opposite is also true, that people with great resources imagine that they gained their resources during some golden past and as such want to return to, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the two are sort of like snake eating its own tail.
Having wealth tends to make people deeply nostalgic.
Yeah.
You know,
totally. I could see that. Yeah.
Okay. Her followers have resources and spend them worship her. Always done in archaic styles, though.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
She's like the god of neoclassicism, right?
Totally. Yeah. Absolutely.
Lots of columns.
Corinthian only.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I remember from my art history class.
Lots of columns exclusively.
Yeah.
Corinthian.
Those were the most decorative of
absolutely
the whole
the best columns you could possibly hope for. What sorts of professions might this god's followers have? Answer, etc. Okay, we're just gonna go nuts on this. I think that I think that her priests are professionalized.
Yeah,
like professional, wealthy priests are common. You know what I
mean? And who like draw people in by their sort of like extravagant wealth and style, and people who worship at like the lay level think that those resources may be mobilized on their behalf, but perhaps they never actually are.
Yes. Great commentary from Baby Mannequin. In the English Civil War, in the period of the English Civil War, a lot of nobility was downwardly mobile. And I think that makes good sense. I think nobility, in particular, members of fading noble families.
Oh, totally. Yeah, great comment. The English Civil War has always been one of those periods where I don't know enough and I want to learn more because it seems fascinating.
Yes, agreed.
There's this movie I've been meaning to watch called A Field in England, which is about an alchemist during the English Civil War, which sounds very cool, but I have not watched it yet, so I can't verify that.
Well,
yeah. Anyway,
monarchs.
Yes, I was going to say politicians in general, I feel like would be, but I love especially aristocracy, like being part of her, you know, cult.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely tracks.
Let's see, what else? Anything else?
You know what?
Here?
I would bet artists.
Okay.
Artists and writers would I think or a certain kind could certainly be a worshiper of Maya Muisti.
Yes.
Ooh. I was just thinking it'd be kind of fun to combine her names as Maya Muisti, like one word, but I don't know. But then we lose the last name for.
Well, we can whatever. Let's just do
it. Cool. Into it.
And then we can just do a similar name for the other one.
Yeah. Or come up with another surname.
Fair enough. And then attach it to both of them.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Could be fun.
Artists and writers of a certain type. Anything else? What do we got?
I mean, who else would invoke nostalgia that we can think of? I'm trying to like
demagogues.
Oh yeah, totally.
Cult leaders.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like...
I mean, if she's the god of war, I feel like soldiers, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if she's one of the twin gods of war, it's like...
And especially soldiers in combat, you have to imagine that they would be using memories of home or idealized memories of a sort of fictive past for them to endure many things.
I agree.
And the horrors of combat.
Yes. So what are, I mean, I feel like it's like her strongest worshipers are people who have some sort of entrenched power that they're looking to retain.
Yeah, totally.
So
I could see her kind of being like in Pathfinder Kellyax, like, or Cheliax. I don't know.
Sort of a devil.
Right. Having her own entire society in some ways, like.
Oh, for sure.
Or country,
I think that makes
or
a
nation.
lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say that she is the like the worshipped, she is viewed as the head of state for a large imperial power.
Love it. Yeah, totally. Like that makes me think of the like Roman hero cult and like imperial worship and yeah totally. Yeah.
Cool.
Super cool.
Super cool.
This is awesome.
Do this guy's
I want to go on an adventure there where you have to sneak around and be like, all hail Lady Nostalgia, Maya Muisti.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, agreed. And it makes sense that she
like
has a
fomenting a rebellion or something. That'd be
I love
dope
it.
Campaign.
It's a good idea. Maybe we should do it.
Oh,
Maybe we should do it.
Yeah.
So do this god's followers typically wear any sort of clothing to show their devotion? I think that this is like traditional clothing of whatever culture the worshiper is from, probably.
Yeah. Anything antiquated or and seen as regal or dignified or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So is there anything specific that we can throw on here just as like a sign of this?
Maybe they have like a crown. Oh, this could be intense. Okay. A brand of her crown.
Yeah, like, I like that.
Initiation is like you're branded as one of her followers. And the like, you know, maybe she preys on the sunk cost fallacy where it's like, well, I've been branded for her, so now I'm in it till I win it.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, do this god's followers practice any sort of ritual ranging from the mundane to the absurd? Let's see. I mean, I feel like warfare itself becomes a ritual, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe they have very particular prayers before they go into battle, or like, or they ride into battle like chanting prayers or sacred lays or hymns to her.
Oh, I think hierarchy is really important here. So it's like ritualistically passing favors to those above you on the hierarchy.
Oh, yeah. Hierarchy is, I think that's a really cool part of
like tithing.
Yes,
is
of course
deeply important to her worshipers.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Maybe also like touching the brand. I sort of have this image of like the brand being like, maybe they grab their arm or they grab their brand as they swear allegiance or what have you.
Maybe they touch the brand of the people above them. No, they don't want to. The people above them don't want to get touched by these people.
But
let's say that there's something. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking, like, I think you're so right to say that there would be rituals around interactions between people at higher and lower levels, right?
Yeah.
Like you would behave a certain way or do some sign of devotion to someone higher ritualistically than you. But they would also do it to a next level of the cast above them.
Of course.
Yeah.
It goes all the way to the king or whatever.
And perhaps
to her.
never, but someone who's higher on the hierarchy does not ever have to acknowledge someone below them.
Yeah.
I was just
think that's right.
watching an episode of The Crown with my parents, and boy, is that show depressing, incidentally. But like when Lady Diana is introduced in it, like the number of things she has to memorize about who she like does a sign of obeisance to first is like, it's jaw-droppingly complicated.
What a mess. What a disaster.
Yeah.
What are those people up to? Clean it up. Clean it up, Crown.
Yeah, get it together. Like, Lady Di wasn't enough. Now you got Meghan Markle.
Yeah,
like,
please.
I don't follow that, but I can see why people would.
Got a nice comment from Zenicus31, first time chat. Thank you for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, saying she's getting
Totally
a real Prince John vibe from the old Disney Robin Hood. I agree.
I love that old Disney Robin Hood so much, too.
It's good. So good. It is really good. Okay, I want to just add one more. A prayer. I want to get back to the crown thing. A prayer to past, to ancestors, while touching the crown, the brand of the crown.
Love it.
Okay.
Oh, and maybe that's how they show obeisance, is they like touch to where a crown would be and kneel to someone higher on the hierarchy than them.
Yes. Good. They touch where a crown would be.
Or maybe make a fist with a fist and like kneel.
With a fist.
Because that kind of gets to the warfare.
And then kneel to their betters. Okay. Cool. Are there any aphorisms or sayings that this god's followers tend to say? Probably. It seems like there'd be a bunch of them.
Yeah. What was great will be again.
Yeah, good. How do we do this without invoking hate speech from the actual world is the real question that I have.
Yeah. Even that sounds a little scarily close.
What
frankly.
will be again. Let's just say what will be. Or what has been. What is it?
Yeah, because I think what was will be again.
What was will be.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I love the triple alliteration of the W's.
What was will be.
What was will be.
Triple W. Yeah. It's like there are too many examples from our actual world for me to pull from
let's
right
just
now.
Maybe.
Let's see. What's like how can we file the serial number off of
some of the
yeah. Take what is ours back. Basically.
I'm trying to think about something with tithing and like, because I love that word, tithing. It's such a good, fun word to say. Like, pay your tithe and.
Pay your tithe. Tithe to tithe to the elders to
she who.
To she. Tithe to she.
Tithe to she. It needs one other little word, I feel like, but I'm not coming up with it.
I don't know.
She who must be obeyed. Wasn't that like from a
sure.
A thing?
Yeah, it's from a thing. You better believe it's from a thing.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, this is making me uncomfortable. Let's move on.
Yeah, agreed. I think we're getting into like
we've gotten enough. We get it. What was will be. Take what is ours back. We all get what we're doing here. Let's move on.
Yeah, we see where it is.
We look. We're all adults here. We understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
To sum all this up, what are the god's areas of concern? Okay, so this is the god of nostalgia, conquest. It's nostalgia, war, and structure. Nostalgia, war, and
hierarchy, maybe.
Yeah. What's the thing that somebody would say that? Let's say order.
Order. Yeah, that's an easier way to sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
don't
that
think they
makes
would.
the
I don't think they would
chessboard
say
work.
nostalgia. I think that I think the worshippers would not say nostalgia.
Right.
I think that they would say order. Whatever. Let's put nostalgia in. I'm going to keep it in.
Yeah. I think they would probably argue. Maybe one of the things that the two goddesses' followers is they argue over who is the true goddess of memory.
Oh,
like
of course. Yeah.
There's a schism. And so like, and they each say the other is nostalgia or what have you.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't it muddies the waters. I don't like that. I don't.
Fair enough.
I don't want to both sides this.
I don't understand why you wouldn't consider that there might be good people on both sides. Okay, I'm gonna excuse myself for the evening now after having made that joke.
So what are this god's edicts? What must her followers strive to do? Reclaim the imagined past, right?
Yep.
Reinforce
hierarchies.
Reinforce social order, and hierarchies. Which includes, I mean, this is why this is evil, including keeping low people low and high people high.
Yeah.
Right? That's why this is lawful evil.
Totally. And having like tons of self-reinforcing meaningless things that explain why people, theoretically everyone could rise,
I like that.
But
there's an intellectual element of this.
I mean, I think the scary thing about this is you can see why people might want to buy into it. You know what I mean? Like the order, the sense of structure, the beautiful architecture that Maya Muisti commands. Yeah. I'm here speaking exclusively of what we have created tonight. Not,
of course, there's no real
not getting political.
Are you kidding me? Nothing is like this.
Yeah,
there's no similarity. If you see a similarity, you figure that out yourself.
That really is something on you.
Yeah, that's more on
friend,
for sure. This is high fantasy we're talking about.
Clearly, yeah.
Okay. So what is anathema to this god? And what's anathema to this god? With followers strive to never do. Like overturn your own. No, that's not right.
Like mutiny or.
But I think mutiny is okay if it's like you've decided that the people who.
Oh yeah.
Counter revolutionaries would certainly be like part of this, right?
And I could also see like lots of schisms being fought within her societies, like meaningless schisms. I mean, not functional ones, but like I could see her as like quietly encouraging those sorts of things.
So I think that maybe then these anathemas should be impossible to follow and should be open to massive interpretation. So it's like you should never take power away from a rightful ruler.
Right. And make it entirely based on, well, what is the question what is a rightful ruler? Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you can justify whatever it is you want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Love that. As like, here. As like her two catechisms, like never take power away from a rightful ruler, but never submit to a unjust tyrant.
Yeah, good.
So it's like this perfect, like impossible.
Right. It's like the contradictions inherent to power are just like on full display here.
Totally. Yeah.
Zeneca 31 has a great suggestion: empower the weak, and I think that's exactly right.
Totally agree. Yeah. God, this is. God, like, it's terrifying.
Let's just say, like, oppose Maya Muisti's order by empowering the weak.
Yeah.
It's great. Anything else here that's an anathema?
I don't know. Nothing's popping for me right now.
Let's keep moving.
Yeah, let's move
God's
on.
alignment, lawful evil. We said it.
Hell yeah.
That was part of our premise. That's what we're doing. What alignments do this God's followers adhere to? Let's take a look. Lawful. I think lawful is inherent to this. I think they're all lawful. I think you could go lawful neutral or lawful evil.
Yeah.
I think.
Do we
go ahead.
think people could be within the society lawful good? I struggle with that
Right,
question.
like individual worshipers. Like you could have people who are
Right.
ultimately lawful good who like have a moment of revelation or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've been doing the bad thing. It's that movie. It's the fucking Christian Bale gun kata movie. It's Equilibrium, right?
Oh.
It's like
yeah, totally. I love that movie, incidentally. So much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, what a fun movie that was.
What a great movie.
Yeah. Like, isn't there that sequence where they like discover a painting and start like weeping at its beauty?
What a great movie.
I love that.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. So fun.
So good. I think that somebody can be true neutral.
Yeah.
You can be completely I think you can be completely committed to the status quo and not have any moral feeling about it and still worship her.
I have kind of a crazy pitch.
Sure.
Chaotic neutral.
Okay.
And
what's your pitch?
So here's my pitch is for that very or maybe even chaotic evil, actually. My pitch for that is those people who are the counter revolutionaries who just like think they're overthrowing, but they're constantly in a process of overthrowing things.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I want to come up with a parentheses. And this is maybe a cop out, but I'll say like, although her followers instrumentalize lawful good, chaotic neutral, chaotic evil.
Yeah.
And maybe just neutral good too. Like I think that people, because they define their society so strongly, like you can have people whose moral center is exploited by the right. Like this is like this is the Three Musketeers, right? Is it's about like neutral good heroes being manipulated and instrumentalized by lawful evil rulers without understanding what they're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I was trying to articulate, but you did a much better job of it. Yeah.
But I think
like they're not afraid of using the tactics of these other sort of moral alignments, but it's usually specifically to further the lawful evil worship.
And you get like heroic stories of people leaving this alignment or leaving the worship of
totally
cool.
I could also see there being like a like established order of people who have escaped from her society and are like now trying to serve as counter revolutionaries. Are the firebrands in Galarian sort of like that? Is that?
I don't know. I don't have a great sense of them at all. I have actually not read about them because I want to be I want to hit the book fresh when that comes out later this month. Is that book coming out?
Is that when it comes out?
Really soon? Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like a cool thing, but anyway, I also clearly have not done my research there, so.
I think that we've got a good enough picture here to move on though, and we're getting into full on.
Oh yeah,
mechanical stuff.
I've been
divine
having
ability.
So much fun.
I'm going to argue for strength.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely strength.
And I'm going to argue for. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of this like intellectual wing of her worshippers being like interested in intelligence.
Yeah, intelligence, but not wisdom.
Yeah. Right. So the god of memory is maybe more wisdom and
intelligence.
Like, dexterity, maybe. I don't know.
Or charisma, maybe.
Yeah, wisdom and charisma. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does this god have a heal font, a harm font, or both? I think she has both.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Okay, cool.
No, because she can give with one hand and take from the other, I feel like is what she's all about.
Right. It's like she is all about order, and that means having like a healthy center of societal center, right?
Totally. Speaking of
but
which,
also conquest.
Yeah. I think society has to be one of her skills.
Society must
right?
be. Must be.
And then
Oh, absolutely must be.
right?
Yes.
And then the other one, religion's already accounted for, but intimidation maybe?
Yep, let's do it.
Yeah.
I was going to say athletics, but I think intimidation is better. What is this god's favorite weapon? And here's where I start looking at favorite weapons. Let's do it.
Yeah. I could see like
spiked gauntlet. No?
That's pretty good. Yeah, I could totally see.
I feel like it should be.
I think it should gauntlet.
Yeah,
just a gauntlet could be her.
Just a gauntlet. I like it.
Like the iron fist of.
Yes, agreed. Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Right? Like
gauntlet. Done. What
Nailed
domains of magic does this god grant her followers? This is my favorite part.
Oh yeah, there's so many cool domains.
There's so many cool
2E.
domains. Agreed.
The whole game is just.
It turns out the game is good.
Yeah.
I'd like to argue for zeal.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'd like to argue for wealth.
Mm-hmm. Confidence, maybe. I could see confidence. Maybe that's an alternate domain.
I like confidence. Let's just put it in there.
I could also see duty.
Duty, I agree. We might need to cut some of these.
Yeah.
Let's just keep adding. Might. We're gonna have to cut this down.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was debating about pain. I don't know if I'm totally confident in.
Yeah,
no, because I think like tyranny. Tyranny, however, I think is
yes, tyranny. Agreed.
Yeah.
So I think that wealth feels like a little bit of an odd man out. Let's cut that.
Yeah.
And I kind of like confidence less than zeal, duty, might, and tyranny.
I was just thinking that confidence there is not as strong as zeal, duty, might.
It's just like let's look at what they actually are. So zeal gives you weapon surge as the domain spell.
Right.
It's like not that exciting, really. You hold your weapon aloft, you fill it with divine energy. Your next strike does more damage. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what was the other one that we were talking about? Confidence.
Well, it's kind of cool. It gives you the attack value of a next level up striking rune.
Yeah,
which is kind of neat.
It's good, but I just don't think it's that flavorful.
Yeah. Totally.
Veil of confidence. You surround yourself in a veil of confidence. You reduce. This is confidence. You reduce your current frightened condition by 1. When you would become frightened during the duration, reduce the amount by 1. I think that's more fun than zeal, and I think it's better, personally.
Yeah. Cool.
I think that it's a little more flavorful. It captures some of the nuance of the god rather than just like it makes you strong, which is what I felt like zeal was doing. You buy it?
I do. No,
okay.
I like that a lot.
Okay, cool. And let's get alternate domains. You said something about delirium earlier. That was something.
Well, we've sort of moved away from that, I think, in terms of like delirium is like being unable to differentiate in my mind between things.
Mm-hmm.
And like her whole thing is like things are very differentiated and they cannot escape from these categories I've determined.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the vibe I kind of think of it.
What do you think about as an alternate domain? Family?
I could see that.
Let's do it.
All right. I mean, and I think we could alternately have zeal there too, if someone wanted zeal.
Which one do you think we should do, zeal or family? Do you like zeal more?
I might like zeal more than family because I don't know
sorry, go ahead.
Hierarchy, to me, she emphasizes hierarchy, not necessarily like community.
Okay.
In some ways.
I think that makes sense. I was looking at wealth. Wealth, I think, is actually exactly wrong. The domain spell for wealth is like you put on an illusion that you're wealthy, and it's like that's not
right.
That's not the thing. That's not correct.
No. Her thing is all about acquiring wealth.
Right. It's what's the actual thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are we? Where are we on alternates? What are we feeling? We're feeling zeal. Let's do zeal.
I would go zeal.
Okay, cool.
If that's cool.
And now it is cool. Let's pick some spells, baby.
Oh, yeah. I always like this part.
I like it
The
too.
spell lists are so complicated.
They are quite complicated, and it irritates me that I have so much trouble navigating, Archives of Nethys to filter out traditions, like does not contain divine. Okay, cool. So we are looking for a level 1 spell that evokes nostalgia. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want to sort by level. Does that work?
True.
It does work. You better believe that works. Okay. Let's make the page size big enough to put every single spell on here. Now let's start with, what do you got?
Maybe deja vu?
Deja vu. You make somebody do the same thing over and over again. I feel like that's very control-y and tricky in a way that just doesn't quite feel right to me.
I buy that. Yeah.
I don't have anything yet. Deja vu. Yeah.
Maybe. Let's see.
Agitate. What does agitate do?
You send the target's mind and body into overdrive, forcing it to become restless and hyperactive. During the duration, the target must stride, fly, or swim at least once each turn or take 2d8 mental damage that turn. I don't know.
I just don't see control, illusion type spells. Like, I feel like she is mega evocation. Like, she is... how about Needle of Vengeance?
That sounds on theme. Yeah.
This is maybe too creepy. A long jagged needle jabs into the target's foe's psyche whenever it tries to attack a specifically forbidden creature. I don't know. This is so difficult.
Yeah. Shattering Gem? I don't know. That doesn't really...
How about Redact from Gods and Magic? You strike mention of a specific name from one or more documents. When you cast the spell, give one proper name, be it creature location. It's about controlling information.
A narrative.
Yeah. Maybe just Shillelagh? No. This is so hard.
I know. Okay, two that I'm just tossing out there because
I got one. Go ahead.
Okay, Thicket of Knives or Ventriloquism. I don't know if either of those. No,
I think ventriloquism is very tricky. Can I offer you one?
Yeah, please.
Unseen Servant.
Oh yeah, totally.
Do you like it?
I do. Yeah. No, okay. It feels like servants would be totally one of the things that a worshiper of this god would be like need to have. Like it would be like a status thing within the society. Like, oh, do you have an unseen servant? You don't.
Yeah.
You must not know Maya Muisti very well.
All right. So let's add 2 more spells of level 1 or higher. Shall we?
Yeah. That's funny. That actually opens up to me. I could totally see a follower of this god being a conjurer. Like someone who conjures up.
Yeah, I like that. Like summoning spells and stuff.
Right. Like summon construct, maybe. I don't know that I'd
summon construct.
Oh, well, they already have spiritual weapon, I guess, because it's the divine list.
Ancestral defense.
Ooh.
Your ancestor protects you. Is this a real thing? No, I'm sorry. This is like an oracle. This is an oracle focus spell.
Got it.
Never mind.
Yeah, I have not sorted this. I'm just looking at the arcane list because I just
can't filter out both focus and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand how to use this interface.
Yeah, I have to say, speaking of nostalgia, I used to love the old layouts for Archives of Nephis, but
Yeah.
now I just find it's newfangled and hard to
I'm
use.
sort of with you on
I know.
that.
My Amwisty strikes again.
It used to be better than it is now.
Yeah. I mean, it was not as modular, but like, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
That's true. Maybe enchantment spells are where things want to go. Like paralyze or shift blame.
Ooh, shift blame sounds.
Shift blame. It's a reaction. You're another creature fails a deception, diplomacy, or intimidation check, and you alter the target's memory of the triggering event.
Yeah, that feels
That's pretty good.
Totally on point.
Let's do it.
Like controlling the narrative. Like,
yeah. Right. It's like part of the nostalgia thing is a zealous interest in changing the narrative of the past to justify your actions of the present.
Totally. Ooh, can I pitch one?
Yes.
Feast of Ashes. You curse the target with a hunger no food can sate. Like,
ooh,
it just feels thematic for like that experience of nostalgia. Is like you want the sweetness of the past, but you can't get it, and anything that you can get doesn't satisfy.
I agree. I love it. Let's do let's just throw one more in here. Let's try to find one that really gets there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just look for the word past in here and see if that gets us anywhere. It didn't. Did not.
Oh no.
I don't know. My filtering is maybe a little weird here.
Yeah. This might be a little bit of me commenting on certain,
please,
things. Touch of idiocy.
Yeah, let's do touch of idiocy.
Dull a target's mind with a touch.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it makes them stupefied.
It helps you enforce hierarchies. It's
totally
good.
Yeah.
I like it. I guess that's it.
Yeah,
Let's just I'm sorry. I'm going to add one more.
Okay.
And I kind of want this to be the main thing that they do. Phantasmal Killer.
Oh, love it.
They conjure a thing that people are afraid of. They are fear-driven themselves, so they inflict fear on people and murder them with it.
Yeah. Oh, you could also say Phantom Pain as like one of their damage spells, because I think that's just a cult.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe that instead of Feast of Ashes, because that's like...
I was going to say that instead of Unseen Servant as the sort of main one.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you're talking to people, showing them the thing that they're afraid of, and then making them have lingering pain. I think that's good.
Yeah, cool. Love it.
What a bonkers set of skills this is.
This was so not where I saw our God of Nostalgia like going at the beginning of this. I love it.
Well, let's cover it all. Let's do the old roundup. Armat, what did we do today? We did this. We did what did we do?
We became servants of Maya Mwisti, the Reclaimer Queen. All hail! Gloria Regna, or whatever.
She's a little girl in old-fashioned clothing, wearing a crown and holding a spear. What's our best myth? Which one of these do you like? You can't see anything. Dealer's choice on this.
I like our first one. There was a crusade at one point where the elderly of a society conscripted an army of children to reclaim an artifact from a neighboring kingdom, which turned out to not have existed at all. Maybe that's the origin story of her nations, but like, most people don't know that the artifact was never claimed, or maybe the artifact is never is claimed, and that's part of how it sustains itself. Is like she's always engaging in conquest to reclaim the Holy Grail or what have you.
Right.
It's a holy MacGuffin.
Great. Cool. Her the sorts of places where her temples are, they can be anywhere, but they tend towards being incredibly expensive. Voluminous, beautiful architecture in archaic styles because her followers have resources and will spend them to worship her.
Yes.
I guess they don't all have worshipers, because it's like hierarchical, but we get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's skip ahead. Let's talk about rituals. What ritual do you want to bring up as we wrap this up, Armat?
Let's do the one that's they touch where a crown would be with a fist and kneel to their betters.
Love it. They say a number of sort of upsetting things that nobody in the real world would ever say anything similar to.
Yeah.
And she's the god of order, nostalgia, and war. And then we all get the mechanical stuff. We already did it. We're good to go. Her followers wield gauntlets. It's the best.
This is such a good evil god. I would love to do a campaign like fighting worshippers of this goddess.
I agree.
Totally.
I love the idea of, it's like such a good background for a heroic character that they are from this place and have been exiled or something like that.
Totally. There's already like a degree of moral heroism in making that choice to
completely
move against this sort of dark and terrifying society, and choose something else.
What a good time. Armat, we did it. We're done.
We did.
We made a god.
That was great.
That was great. What a fun time this thing is.
It's always such a good time.
It's such a good time.
It's crazy. Like every time I come out being like, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Like thinking about the heap last time. Like what an amazing mega dungeon.
So good.
Yeah.
And she's going to join somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Down in this area, probably right around here. She's going to go.
Yeah.
On our neat little pantheon that we're building.
It's cool. Yeah.
It's cool. It's real cool.
It's cool to be able to visualize it too and see the relationships there.
I agree. Yeah. Armat, we did it. I want to let you know, if you're watching this on Twitch and you're not following us, please give us a follow. I'd appreciate it. If you're seeing us on YouTube, you want to leave a little comment, you want to like, you want to subscribe, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to be like, don't do that. Go ahead and do it. Why not? See if I care. I do care. Please do it. And if you haven't listened to our podcast, Tabletop Gold, you should give it a shot. We are an actual play podcast playing Pathfinder Second Edition and having a grand old time doing it.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Anything else that we should say, Armat, before we go? Anything else?
Just thank you to everyone who watched, and thank you to everyone who may watch in the future. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Well said.
Yeah.
And that's it. We'll see you guys later.
Good hat time.
Good hat time to you. All right. Bye.